Imagine being in a state of complete control, where your emotions no longer dictate your actions, and you're able to navigate even the most chaotic situations with ease and precision. This is what it means to embody the Flare-Hennson principle, a concept that has been debated and refined by philosophers and thought leaders for centuries. But today, we're going to dive into the Stoic version, the best version, the one that will transform your life from the inside out. The Flare-Hennson principle is rooted in the idea that our thoughts, emotions, and actions are all interconnected, and that by mastering one, we can master the others. This is not just a theoretical concept, but a practical framework that has been tested and proven by countless individuals throughout history. Take, for example, the story of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled with wisdom and justice, even in the face of immense turmoil and adversity. He was a master of the Flare-Hennson principle, and his writings continue to inspire and guide us to this day. One of the key points to understand about the Flare-Hennson principle is that it's not just about suppressing our emotions, but about acknowledging and accepting them. This is a crucial distinction, because when we try to suppress our emotions, we often end up making things worse. Instead, we need to learn to observe them, to witness them without judgment, and to allow them to pass without becoming identified with them. This is a skill that takes practice, but it's one that will serve you well in all areas of your life. Another important aspect of the Flare-Hennson principle is the concept of detachment. This doesn't mean becoming disconnected from the world around us, but rather, it means learning to let go of our attachments to specific outcomes. When we're attached to a particular result, we become rigid and inflexible, and we're no longer able to respond to changing circumstances. But when we're detached, we're able to flow like water, adapting and evolving as needed. This is a powerful mindset, one that will allow you to navigate even the most uncertain and unpredictable situations. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but how do I actually put it into practice? The answer is simple: start small. Begin by paying attention to your thoughts and emotions, and by noticing how they impact your actions. Take, for example, the story of a friend who was struggling with anxiety. She realized that every time she felt anxious, she would reach for her phone and start scrolling through social media. But then she started to notice that this behavior was actually making her feel worse, not better. So, she made a conscious decision to stop scrolling, and instead, to take a few deep breaths and focus on the present moment. This small change had a profound impact on her life, and it's a great example of how the Flare-Hennson principle can be applied in a practical way. Another key point to understand is the importance of self-reflection. This is a critical component of the Flare-Hennson principle, because it allows us to gain insight into our thoughts, emotions, and actions. When we take the time to reflect on our experiences, we're able to identify patterns and habits that may be holding us back, and we're able to make conscious decisions about how we want to move forward. This is a powerful tool, one that will allow you to take control of your life and to create the future you desire. In addition to self-reflection, it's also important to cultivate a sense of gratitude and appreciation. This is a key aspect of the Flare-Hennson principle, because it allows us to shift our focus away from what's lacking and towards what we already have. When we're grateful, we're able to see the world in a new light, and we're able to appreciate the beauty and wonder that surrounds us. This is a powerful mindset, one that will allow you to find joy and fulfillment in even the simplest things. Now, I want to share a story that illustrates the power of the Flare-Hennson principle in action. A few years ago, I was going through a difficult time in my life, facing challenges and setbacks that seemed insurmountable. But then I stumbled upon the writings of Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential philosophers of his time. His words were like a breath of fresh air, reminding me that I had the power to choose my thoughts, emotions, and actions, regardless of my circumstances. This was a turning point for me, and it's a great example of how the Flare-Hennson principle can be applied in a real-world way. Another important aspect of the Flare-Hennson principle is the concept of mindfulness. This is the practice of being present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. When we're mindful, we're able to respond to situations more effectively because we're not reacting out of habit or impulse. Instead, we're able to choose our actions consciously and to create the outcomes we desire. This is a powerful skill, one that will allow you to navigate even the most complex and challenging situations. In terms of applying the Flare-Hennson principle in our daily lives, there are many practical strategies we can use. One of the most effective is to start a journaling practice, where we take the time to reflect on our thoughts, emotions, and actions. This allows us to identify patterns and habits that may be holding us back, and to make conscious decisions about how we want to move forward. Another strategy is to practice mindfulness meditation, which helps us to cultivate a sense of awareness and presence in the moment. And finally, we can use affirmations and visualization techniques to reprogram our minds and to create the outcomes we desire. As we explore the Flare-Hennson principle further, it's clear that it's not just a philosophical concept, but a practical framework for living. It's a way of being that allows us to tap into our inner strength and resilience, and to create the life we truly desire. So, I want to leave you with a challenge today. Take the next 30 days to apply the Flare-Hennson principle in your life. Start by paying attention to your thoughts and emotions, and by noticing how they impact your actions. Practice self-reflection and mindfulness, and cultivate a sense of gratitude and appreciation. And most importantly, remember that you have the power to choose your thoughts, emotions, and actions, regardless of your circumstances. You are the master of your destiny, and the Flare-Hennson principle is the key to unlocking your full potential. So, take the first step today, and start creating the life you've always wanted.